Good morning, students. Today I will explain you relative atomic mass of the atomic weight and the relative molecular mass, that is the molecular weight. You know, atoms, they are very small and it's not possible to see them. But in our physics, we are able by some techniques to know the atomic mass of the different elements. As these are very small, then we cannot take gram as the unit for the atomic mass. So it was considered that if we take a standard atom of an element and then we compare the atomic masses of the different element to the atomic mass of the standard one, that is the relative atomic mass of the element. First, it was found that the hydrogen is the least one and this is the smallest one, atom. So we can compare the atomic mass with the hydrogen, but later on it was found that the carbon 12 is the convenient for us to compare the atomic mass of the element to the carbon 12. And it was found that the adaptation of the carbon 12 does not interfere in other properties of the atoms. So when the atomic mass of the atom is related to the standard one, then it is known as the relative atomic mass, that is RAM. So relative atomic mass of an element, if we define it, relative atomic mass of an element is the number of times one atom of the element is heavier than 1/12 times of the mass of the atom of carbon 12. Again listen. That is how much time an atom is heavier than the 1/12 times of the mass of the atom of carbon 12. It means carbon 12, 1/12 of the carbon 12 is taken as a standard. So if we compare the atomic mass with the carbon 12, that is 1/12 times of the carbon 12, that is the relative atomic mass. Again listen, relative atomic mass of an element is the number of times one atom of the element is heavier than 1/12 times of the mass of atom of carbon 12. Here carbon 12 is taken as a standard. So RAM, that is equal to the mass of one atom of the element upon 1/12 mass of the one carbon 12 atom. And its unit is AMU, that is 1/12 mass of the carbon 12. So, relative atomic mass, that is how much number of times of an atom is heavier than the 1/12 times of the carbon 12. That is known as the relative atomic mass of an element. In the same way, if we say relative molecular mass means molecular weight, and you know all the gases and the compounds, they are the molecules. Again, relative molecular mass of an element or compound is the number that how many times one molecule is heavier than 1 upon 12 of the mass of an atom of the carbon 12. Definition is same. Here we are considering the mass of the element. Here we are considering the mass of the molecules. So relative molecular mass of an element or compound is the number of that how many times one molecule is heavier than 1 upon 12 of the mass of atom of carbon 12. Now, how you calculate the molecular mass? Molecular mass means mass of the molecule. If you take example of H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, here relative molecular mass. Just you can find out by adding the atomic mass of the different atoms. In this case, if you see H2, that is 2 atoms of the hydrogen, 1 atom of the sulfur, and the 4 atom of the oxygen. Then atomic weight of the hydrogen is 2 into 1, sulfur is 32, and 4 atoms of the oxygen, that is 16, that is 98 AMG. So molecular mass of the sulfuric acid is 98 mg. Now this relative atomic mass and the relative molecular mass, when represented in the form of the grams, see relative atomic mass when represented in the form of the grams, then it is known as the gram atomic mass. That is 16 AMU of oxygen is equal to 16 gram of the atomic mass. I will say that the 1 gram of atom of sodium, that will be equal to 23 gram of the sodium. In the same way, when relative molecular mass represented in gram, that is known as the gram molecular mass, that is the GMM. Suppose we take the example of water, that is H2O. Here hydrogen 2 atoms, oxygen 1 atom, so 2 plus 16, 18. So molecular mass of the water H2O is 18 AMU. So 18 gram molecular mass, here if we represent in grams, it becomes the 18 gram molecular mass. In the same way, oxygen molecule O2, atomic mass is 16, then 16 into 32, this is molecular mass or the gram molecular mass of oxygen. So this is how we can define relative atomic mass and the relative molecular mass. Simply, relative atomic mass of an element is the number of times one atom of an element is heavier than 1 upon 12 times of the mass of the atom of carbon 12. In the same way, relative molecular mass, that is relative molecular mass of an element or compound, is the number of that how many times one molecule is heavier than 1 upon 12 of the mass of an atom of carbon 12. And if this unit AMU is represented in grams, then it becomes the gram atomic mass or the gram molecular mass. Now in my next video I will give you more information regarding the gas law. If you like my videos, please share and subscribe. Thanks very much.